Hi guys, Joe here, and welcome to 750 Gaming. In this one I'll look at how I plan to use my Red Hunters in combat patrol by making my own. Okay, so G-dubs are seemingly quite happy to release more combat patrols at the moment, and it's good for them, as they can find creative ways to put oddball sprues into boxes with other sprues and convince people to buy this as a job lot. Or they can choose to write a seemingly generic list with just one specialist unit that you might not actually have but had been thinking about buying. Sure. But I think it's also good for us as a player base because the more variety out there, the longer lifetime combat patrol has over the course of the edition and maybe into the next. And of course, with more official variety, the greater the acceptance for flexibility in the main. So, I imagine before long, there won't be much scope for this kind of how to make your own combat patrol video, because we'll already be doing it all anyway. But it's not yet. Not quite. So here's my Red Hunters, a variety of different units masquerading as Deathwatch. Kinda. You can go watch the main video about all that for a better explanation, but yes, here they are, and some of them I really want to use in the smaller scale version of Warhammer 40k. So what am I going to do? Well, as per my completely arbitrary guidelines I made for myself, we'll look to select 3 to 4 units, 1 to 2 characters, 15 to 20 minis at around 400 to 500 points. And whilst the whole point is to use minis we already have, there is a financial question to consider. If a combat patrol box is going for 80 to 90 quid RRP, we obviously want to have to spend less than that on whatever miniatures we're slinging onto the table. Right, anyway, as mentioned, I play my Red Hunters as Deathwatch, so the best place to start is going to be the Deathwatch Combat Patrol datasheets to give ourselves a baseline. So, Vigil Force Alphion consists of a Lieutenant, an Apothecary, 10 Intercessors, 3 Aggressors, and it's a slightly lightweight feeling 395 points going by the Munitorium Field Manual 1.6 data point cost thing. But it's 15 minis, and assuming you're splitting the intercessors and attaching a character to both, it's 3 units. So yeah, it's a combat patrol. The enhancements are decent, +1 toughness and an invuln or the precision keyword and +1 to wound in melee. The secondaries are both relatively achievable, and the strats are all usable. And let's be honest, I'm not actually too far off being able to play this combat patrol as is. I've got 10 intercessors, I even have an apothecary. The Watchmaster data card gives him the shoot and charge after falling back ability as per the LT, so he's not far off being like for like there. The main discrepancies being only a few numbers here and there, in both base stats and weapons, so I'm pretty happy with that. Those aggressors are where it's all about to fall down, however. It would make sense points-wise to probably take my Deathwatch veterans as a replacement squad, a mixture of shooting and punching. More minis there, but less durable. It's a fair swap, I think, and would make it 17 minis for the same 395 points, with just a slightly stronger leader character. So more or less parity, maybe. But I've also got some Hellblasters, and that new Dark Angels combat patrol that's just dropped has 10 intercessors, 5 Hellblasters, 3 Blade Guard, and that Gravis captain running around solo, I guess. And that's 19 minis, technically 5 units at a whopping 455 points. Granted, the actual plastic on the sprues has stoked yet more dissent among the community, but as a force, it's full of tactical flexibility. So maybe I'd drop the Apothecary and take my Hellblasters too, and that would take mine to 21 minis at 460 points. Yeah, that feels a bit heavy though. So let's look elsewhere for a bit of inspiration. Along with the previous elements, my on-brand 1000 points of Inquisitorial Space Marines also contain an Inquisitor kit bash, along with a squad of Eliminators, 2 squads of Infiltrator Coming Cursors that may or may not be painted in Alpha Legion livery, plus a Phobos Lieutenant Proxy who has a striking resemblance to some mystery dude named Cypher. Cypharius, if you will. You'll probably need to go watch my full army video to understand my creative choices here, but safe to say it's just a big full flavour soup. And with that Vanguard box set being re-released and the Strike Team Solarian Combat Patrol having a rule set published in White Dwarf, we have a few covert options to consider. Strike Team Solarian contains a Phobos Lieutenant, a Phobos Librarian, 10 Infiltrators and 3 Suppressors. 15 minis again, 410 points. Okay. The enhancements are a bit more unit specific here, either sticky objectiveness for the Infiltrators that aren't technically battle line troops and therefore don't achieve it by default, or the lone operative keyword and a few weapon stat upgrades for the Phobos LT. Well, yeah, we could probably work with those. One of the secondaries is a bit stronger in my opinion. You can either get VP for controlling no man's land objectives, in addition to primary OC objectives wherever they may be, or 2 VP every time you kill something with a ranged attack. Okay. The strats though are very meh, and one of them is theoretically suppressors specific. But I've got a plan. We're going to combine it all, find a middle ground, and put down a full flavour miniature version of our full force. We'll take 5 red intercessors and take 5 red hellblasters. A nice bulk of gunline fun. And then we're going to take 5 blue infiltrators, incursors, reavers, probably infiltrators. And then we'll take the 3 red eliminators as well for, covert shenanigans. Of course, whilst the intercessors, hellblasters and infiltrators have data cards relevant and balanced for combat patrol, the eliminators don't. But we'll work with that. And the chances are, if for some mad reason you're copying me and copying this from scratch, you're probably more likely to have eliminators than you are suppressors in your pool of miniatures. I think, originally, you were only able to get them in this Vanguard box set when it first came out. And I'm pretty sure you can still only get them in this box set or on the eBay machine. So, whilst they don't have the ability to fly, those sniper rifles will be a decent option for this style of game. And in the spirit of bashing stuff together, we'll change the Suppressor Squad keyword in that Giant Slayer Doctrine strat to read Eliminator Squad. Easy peasy. So that's 380 points there. We just need to pick a leader character. And I'm torn. Do I take my Inquisitor? And let's be honest, he's just here for the fluff of it. He's technically just a weaker librarian. I mean, in a Space Marine army, there's no actual reason to take an Inquisitor over a librarian proper. So we probably won't be calling him up for combat patrol purposes. So do I take the Watchmaster, Lieutenant dude? Well, what would he give me? Fall back and shoot and charge? Yeah, not the worst thing, but again, I'll be attaching him to the Intercessors or the Hellblasters for him to be of some sort of value. So maybe I just take the Phobos Lieutenant, aka Cypher, and then I could give him the lone operative enhancement stuff and stay in Strike Team Solarian branding. So then we'd have a solo character, 4 other units, a la the new Dark Angels Combat Patrol. There's only 10 points in it, taking us to 435 or 445 respectively. It would just be a case of which vibe I'm preferring on a given day, I suppose. Full-on Inquisitorial Deathwatch fun, or, significant heretical ambiguity. Well, let's do the maths for the sake of it. The Deathwatch Combat Patrol box cost 80 quid. The Vanguard Task Force box set costs a competitive 85 quid, so you'd need to do some swapping around to make Strike Team Solarian with it, and the new Dark Angels Combat Patrol is 95? Flip me. Standardish RRPs for Combat Patrol these days, I guess, so that's what we're going to be aiming for when calculating what we may already have in stock to put one together from scratch. We'd be splitting boxes to get 5 of each Intercessors, Hellblasters and Infiltrators, assuming you're not buying at full RRP from G-Dubs, and please don't, then it's probably going to be around 17 quid a unit here, so that's 51 for those 3. Then the Eliminators, well, they are extraordinarily expensive for what they are. I got mine for 28 from from a third-party reseller, so that's £79 already without a character. I obviously kit bash my characters, but I still paid a tenner for each when you consider the base model and the bits from the eBay machine. So I can't say it would cost any less to do this from scratch, per se. But considering I've already got these minis in my army, I've not had to spend another 80, 85, 95 pounds to play these individual Deathwatch, Dark Angel, Solarian, Raven Guard combat patrols, I've just souped them all together instead. You win some, you lose some. And I think it's all balanced. None of it is overpowered, and frankly, it looks fun and it's different on the tabletop. And that's kind of what this is all about. So how do you play Combat Patrol? Do you stick to the official boxes in the wild? Do you go crazy like I do to play with what you've already got? What are you hoping GW will do next with Combat Patrol? Or do you hate it with a passion and want it cancelled? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as ever, and hopefully I'll see you again in the next one. But for now, thanks for watching.
Let's go!
Yes, thanks for watching. Do give this video a like and a comment if you enjoyed the content, or indeed otherwise, as I do love to read your thoughts and ideas. As ever, this is just a bit of fun for me. I don't have a regular release schedule or Patreon or anything, so hit subscribe if this is something you'd like to see more of, and you can catch my content when it happens. Hopefully, I'll see you next time.